financial markets, cryptocurrency, gold and silver, world news.
Fair to say you simply flooded the system with money.
Yes, we did. That's another way to think about it. We did.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally, and we do that by buying treasury bills. That actually increases the money supply.
Financial Turmoil Explained.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good day, and welcome to the show on this Wednesday, the 15th of June, 2022. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you guys here. Let's get started right away. Let's open up the charts right here. First thing I want to talk about is, another U.S. food processing plant has erupted in flames. It's according to local news, a fire ripped through a pizza-making plant in Wisconsin on Friday. 70 firefighters, multiple fire departments battled a massive fire at Festive Foods in East Portage County. It began around 9 o'clock local time. American Red Cross arrived. Take a look at the pictures. You can see it's a big facility. Seems like whoever or whatever is, it seems like they only pick great big facilities, that's capable of large amounts of food distribution. And I had too many of these for me not to say that there's something behind all of this. It's like our food supply, worldwide. First the fertilizer, and we got our all of these strange weather events going on, and all the food distribution centers being burned to the ground, and we got tremendous amounts of grain being trapped in ports over in Ukraine. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of tons of grain. This is going to have an impact later, and all of this stuff is going to have more of an impact in a few months from now than it's going to have right now at this point in time. Now, we're going to take a look at another thing real quick here. Bonds and rates. Just take a look at this. The bond yields were shooting up. U.S. 10-year was up in over 10 basis points higher. All of a sudden, what we got in the 10 years, we got a sudden drop. It was like 10 basis points, or more than 10 basis points, just suddenly. I'm awful suspicious about this. I'm not going to come right out and say, hey, the Fed is doing yield curve control. But somebody bought an awful lot. I'm just suspicious of it. It makes me suspicious that it's not some sort of backdoor QT. QE, backdoor quantitative easing. I'm just suspicious of that. Anyway, moving on, taking a look at other parts of the market today. Silver price today is up 46 cents, which is welcome. 21.48 today, which is actually way too low considering how the price for mining an ounce of silvers went up lately. And did I hear someplace, or is it just a rumor, that what's that company, Berkshire Hathaway, I think it is, whatever, that somebody made a big silver purchase or something. I heard some sort of a rumor about that, of a was it 1 million ounces or something? I shouldn't even talk about it because I might probably not getting it straight, But anyway, I just know. Besides that, forget about what I just said about that. I just know, because that's just a rumor, so forget I said that. I just know that out there right now, that the big money out there right now is thinking to themselves, hey, which way? Now, I know which way this is going to go. But the big money out there, I think they're just sitting on the sidelines right now, and they're saying to themselves, should we hold dollars? Because the Fed looks awfully tight. the monetary policy right now, and the Fed looks like they're going to continue to tighten, and they're talking the big talk, and they're playing the big game, and they're thinking to themselves, if we can get into dollars right now, we hold dollars, then we can go and scoop up all this stuff on the cheap when it all collapses. That's what the rich are thinking. But they're thinking, on the other hand, maybe the Fed will just say, and throw their hands up in the air and let the money flow again. And then we'll get trapped in these dollars. Maybe we should hold some gold and silver, but we want to get it at the cheapest possible price because we are rich people, they're saying to themselves, and we always buy things way cheaper than everybody else. We buy it real cheap and then we sell it when it's really high and we make all kinds of money, because we're rich and we're greedy. And so what we want to do is we want to get it at the possible cheapest price and wait until... and we're going to scoop it all up at once, not let anybody else have any. This is the way they think, I mean, well, that's worse. Actually, it's a lot worse than that, the way they think. They're some of the greediest people on earth, some of the tightest, stingiest people on earth. I'll tell you a little story, okay? I'm going to get sidetracked a little bit. The most miserly person in the world, I think, in the Guinness Book of World Records, I think it's in the Guinness Book of World Records, was Hetty Green. And, she was so unbelievably rich back when money was money. I think she had like $100 million or something. Now, this was back, and she owned the Waldorf Astoria Hotel. And, this was back when money was money. And this was back, a long, long time ago, back when a dollar was a dollar. And she wouldn't spend her own money, because she's always scrimping and saving to try to save every little tiny piece of a penny or whatever, What she would do is, she's like bars of soap, and they get down small, little pieces left, little tiny pieces left. She'd take those little tiny pieces and put them together and squeeze them to make one bigger bar, instead of letting them go when they got down too small, little tiny, little slivers of soap. And stuff like that, just to save money. She was living in a piano crate. Now, back in those days, they used to make piano crates out of wood, not cardboard. But, a big piano, they'd have a crate that would come in, when they move it around, a moving crate. And down by the railroad tracks, it was the equivalent of living in a van down by the river, basically. But she lived in a piano crate down by the railroad tracks. I guess across the street or whatever from her big hotel that she owned. She owned like a monster-sized luxury hotel. She owned the whole thing. It was like wintertime and stuff. And here she is living on the other side of the tracks over out in the snow in an old piano crate. The wind would blow through that and everything else, to save some dollars. Not even let herself have one of the rooms in the big luxury hotel. And you can imagine what kind of money the big hotel like that, what would it have, like 1,000 rooms in it or whatever? I mean, what would it have hurt her just to take one of the back rooms or something, in the hotel, rather than living in a piano crate, when she owned the whole place? She's stingy with herself. And, this is one of the attributes, of all these rich, a lot of them. Well, I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of them, they just want to grow their empire bigger and bigger and bigger, and they know that money going out is not money coming in. And money coming in, every investment they make, they want it to make money for them. They won't make an investment unless they go over it and they make sure that it's going to make them money. And so anyway, when it comes to buying silver and stuff here, they're going to wait for the opportune moment when they can get it the cheapest they can possibly get it. We might be nearing that moment. Then they're going to scoop it all up. Probably a bunch of them will come in, just gone. Because it's such a small, tight market, silver is. And you got to understand something. That the cost of mining production, because the cost of fuel and energy is going up, cost of mining production is going to go way the heck up to try to get that silver out of the ground. And I've been talking about this for a while. But the price hasn't been going anywhere. In fact, it's been going down. I think it was like $26 like not that long ago, you know, and now it's like $21.50. But the cost to get it out of the ground, I mean, the cost of fuel is like doubled since then. And it's mostly all fuel costs because the silver is in tiny little particles inside rocks. That's where it is in the earth, you know. And they have to go in there and take those rocks, and first they have to like blast them out with dynamite and stuff, you know, and gather them up and take them to something called a crusher. Basically what the crusher does is it takes the big rocks and crushes them down to littler rocks. And they run them down a conveyor belt into another crusher, which crushes them again into even smaller rocks. They keep doing that until they've pulverized it into powder. Now all of that energy that it takes to do that mostly comes from fuels, fossil fuels, like diesel and gasoline and electricity that they produce too. Electricity, but they oftentimes they produce electricity with big generators that actually run on diesel at the mines, you know. And so it's all energy. And so energy costs double, so does the cost of mining production. So we've had this massive raise in the cost of mining production. There goes the profit margin. Is out the window right now. And it can't go too much lower than the cost of production. Otherwise, they just won't mine it. The bottom line is, unless they make money, they're not going to get in there and mine that ore out of the ground. And so that puts a solid floor under the price of this stuff. Because I can tell you right now, at a whole ounce of silver is a lot of silver. It's a big... You ever held an ounce of silver in your hand? It's a big chunk of silver. It takes hundreds of pounds of rock they got to extract to get that 1 ounce out of. And they got to actually take the rock and turn it to powder. And then they got to run it through and get chemicals. And then they got to heat it. You know, again, they got to heat it in order to melt that silver out and then they make it into these dory bars, which is the original. And then they make it later. They have to re-melt it again to make it into your coin. Takes a lot of work to get that coin, and I'm going to tell you, with the cost of fuel rising, it must be getting up close to $20. It must be up like, I remember it used to be like $10, but fuel costs have doubled. So I can only guess at it right now, and I know it's high. So you're getting such good value when you buy an ounce of silver. You're getting such good value for what you're purchasing. Whereas cryptocurrency, you know, I mean, especially some of these alternative coins, they can just turn a switch, and they create a new alternative coin, you know, and then they put a lot of hype behind it and everything, but it didn't cost anything to produce practically, just a little bit of electricity. And there's endless amounts of these altcoins that they can make. Well, look, they got thousands of different ones here. Look at this. Look at this list of all these altcoins. Do you think these are going to make it? Look at the names on them. Pax Gold, Thorchain. I mean, it's like they're running out of names now to even think of. Rune Coin, Quant, Phantom, Chili's, Loop Ring, Waves, Basic Attention Token, Pancake Swap. Come on. You know, Gala Coin, Gemini Dollar, Amp, Engine Coin, ENJIN Coin, CeeLo Coin, Step N Coin. I mean, come on. You know, just by the names of these things, you can just tell that you're going to lose your money. You get too far out from Bitcoin here, say goodbye to your money. You know, I mean, this is the way it is with these. And I've been telling you guys on this channel for a long time, I'm saying, don't get too far away from Bitcoin into these altcoins way down the list, you know, like coin number 453 or whatever. It's just like tearing your money up and burning it, you know. But now, gold and silver, I've been telling you guys, it's a solid investment. It's in physical. I'm talking about physical metal. Get the physical and hold the physical metal. And, and the guy who holds it the longest is going to be the biggest winner. Because ultimately, especially silver, you want to win in this world, keep your silver for a long time. And I don't think it's going to take that much longer, to tell you the truth. Anyway, we forgot to do gold price, didn't we? Gold today, 1822. Go back and take a look at Bitcoin at 21,350. Bitcoin is going to reach a bottom, and everything's going to turn around in the end, because they're going to come back in with stimulus again to these markets. I'm very suspicious that they didn't do some sort of bond purchase just like last night. I'm suspicious of them. Anyway, Dow Jones Industrial Average today. They're waiting on the decision right now of the Fed, of how many basis points they're going to do. Whether it's going to be 50, 75, or 100 basis points. Don't know yet. 50 in the market's a little, and 75 is most likely, right up the middle. They do 100, and, the markets might turn down if they do 100, but 75 is most likely, I think, right now, of what they're going to do. 314 points up on the market. Market's got a little bit of a relief right now. I wouldn't call it a relief. It's not a relief rally, just a little bit of relief. They're relaxed for a little bit. Nothing goes down in a straight line, just like nothing goes up in a straight line, So we got this little tiny bounce happening right now in the market, 30,679. So it's poised, to go below 30,000. And I think now the market's going to stabilize for a few days again. It'll stabilize for a little bit again before it starts its next leg down. I'll tell you guys when the market's going to turn around. This market's, when it nears its bottom, it's going to be a great investment. But we got quite a ways to run yet, I think, But I think when it gets down near its bottom, the people that buy in are going to make out really good on this market. But they're going to be getting a bargain. It's going to be lower than it is right now. And, when they come back in, and basically it's going to break the Fed, and they're going to change directions. Of course, I've been through this before, so I'm not going to get too deep into that. Crude oil today, $118. Was 120, so it's down a little bit. Move index. Now, this is what we got to really keep our eye on. Put it on the 1 year. We can see it really shot up, shooting straight up right now. The credit markets are becoming unstable, and that's if the Fed did purchase those bonds, it's probably the reason why. It's like backdoor quantitative easing. Like not letting anybody know. It's like doing it on the side or whatever, If they're doing it, I'm just saying, Bonds and rates today. Now we're seeing a drop in yields. Like I say, the U.S. 10-year at 3.39. The U.S. 30-year at 3.39. So, almost an inversion there. Actually, it is. There's an inversion there between the 10 and the 30 now at this point. 10 years very slightly higher yield. Take a look at the U.S. dollar index today at 105.29. Yeah, it's probably going to top out around 110 or something, and because when you got the at the final edge of this thing, we're probably going to have a Dow of around 26,000. We're going to have the U.S. dollar index probably like 110 or something like that. And then the whole thing's going to reverse. And on the other side of this coin, how when the dollar index starts to drop, it's going to drop rather quickly. And the real crisis is going to occur when the dollar index drops below 70. But now you got to understand something. On this side of this, they're weakening things like the yen. They're weakening it of these other currencies terribly, because any of these other countries out there that aren't doing tightening like the Fed, or are not going to stay to their tightening like the Fed is, right now because the Fed, they have seemingly been very committed to what they're doing and tightening. Okay, and they're putting support behind their currency. But what about these other currencies of the world? What the Fed is tightening, and any of these other currencies are not tightening, they're going to lose value tremendously fast against the dollar. Anyway, thank you for listening. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the very next show. Bye-bye.